It's been an interesting year for hip-hop, or rather it's been an interesting year for music spreading, and how the whole industry basically has to shift their gears in regards to how they advertise their music. For some artists, they are dropping projects out of nowhere. For some, they are releasing the projects earlier. They think that this is a project worth talking about, so they moved the release date a bit earlier. Run the Jewels was an example of that, not only in the aspect of coronavirus, but as well as the social political aspect of it. Or some just don't get altered or faltered because of the effect of Mr. Rona here. I think what's interesting about music and hip-hop in general is how they sort of, I have to be careful about what I'm going to say in terms of the adjective, took the aspect of apocalyptic in both biological and social political in 2020, an interesting mesh of trends from the 2020 bars, coronavirus bars, social political bars. It's we're only halfway here, and you know, shit's going down pretty bad. I really don't have a segue between that interesting phenomena and my mid-year list, other than that it's an interesting phenomena to talk about to you people. But yeah, you are here for my mid-year list, and I'm going to give it to you just to give you a reminder, as if you guys don't know this. This is my list. I hope you have your own list, and please talk about it in the comments below. I'm really interested on the projects I've missed. Before we get into the list, I am going to give 2 honorable mentions. These 2 projects, they're in the honorable mentions of 2 factors. One, I felt like my 5 mid-year projects were slightly better. I enjoyed it more than these 2, as well as in terms of replayability, it didn't have the replay value as much as the 5 mid-year albums that I'm going to talk about later on. So first of all, here is the honorable mentions of mid-year 2020. The first honorable mention goes to Conway the Machine and Alchemist with Lulu. I gave it a really positive review when I reviewed it in the channel. Redundant much. I think for me personally is it lost a bit of steam and momentum as the year progresses, because it is released pretty early in the year. I still think it's a great project, and Alchemist really brought forth his very skeletal and dusty and minimalistic, that grimy New York sound. And Conway gives you a lot of references to Paid in Full, as well as new flows here and there. I don't know, it just, for me, it lost a bit of steam, but who knows, it will probably pick up again. I'll probably replay it more during the last leg of the year. And I haven't listened to the other 2, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Conway projects that he released, which is a bit hypocritical of me, because I said that I was really curious on the other Conway projects that he says that he is going to release this year, which is 4, I believe. But yeah, after this, I'm probably gonna listen to them. Next up, I have Dueling Experts with Dueling Experts. This is Verbal Kent and Illmind, and this is their collaborative album out of Mellow Music Group. If you're familiar with like Nolan the Ninja or Ugly Pill, I can't remember. I know he changed his name now, but if you're familiar with those 2 artists, you'll probably like this one. I really do like this project. The reason why this is an honorable mention, I have to be in a very specific and certain mood for this album, because it is unapologetically dirty, unapologetically in your face, yelpy, East Coast dusty freestyle battle sort of hip hop. These 2 go at each other bar for bar for bar for bar. It's just a huge bloodbath at the end of the day, which is weird considering I usually like that type of music, but I think it's just the delivery of cadence that these 2 put in mind. It'll probably climb up in my list at the end of the year. How high though, that's still in question, because again, I have to be in a certain mood to listen to this album. But if you really like those grimy, dusty, in your face, unapologetic battle rap East Coast hip hop, please listen to this album, because you won't be disappointed. Here we are, my 5 mid-year albums, hip-hop albums of 2020. Without further ado, let's get to it. Number 5, I have MEDHANE with Full Circle. MEDHANE and another artist in this list took 2020 by storm in my book. He is a young, creative MC out of New York, if not mistaken. and he really brings it in this project in my opinion. He has this really dirty New York sound, but has an experimental edge to it. If you like Arm & Hammer, Billy Woods, and Elucid, you'll probably like this project. The way this guy approach skeletal, experimental, New York type beats is really unique, and how he attacks his flows and lyrics are very abstract, and I love that about him. I know he released another project this year titled, if I'm not mistaken, Water. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to listen to the project right after this. So yeah, check out MEDHANE with Full Circle. Number 4, I have KADEEM with Passing Exchange. This was the other artist I was talking about in the list, where I think they took 2020 by storm in my book. He has a New York experimental sound that I really enjoy. I think I prefer this project only because of the young and a bit more upfront energy that KADEEM brings on. MEDHANE is a lot more lower, a lot more gruffer, a lot more submerged. A great project altogether, and I'm really excited where he's going to take this sound and take these themes into his career in the future, because he said that this was a sort of turning point project in his life. Yeah, I'm really curious where this guy and MEDHANE is gonna go next in their career. Number 3, I have Run the Jewels with Run the Jewels 4. The only reason why this album is a number 3 because it just came out not too long ago. I really got nothing much to say about this album other than I really love it. The more I listen to it, the more I'm loving it even more. And I think Killer Mike and LP can really do no wrong at this point in their career. What I'm really curious is how their beyond music move in regards to this album in the next couple of months, or maybe towards the end of the year. Are they going to work with Rick and Morty again? Are they going to work with visual artists in relation to maybe an Adult Swim cartoon or any of movies or whatnot? Beyond music, that's what I'm really interested in Run the Jewels right now, because I think in terms of music, they already killed it. Yeah, I'm really curious on that part, but it's a great album. You guys should definitely listen to it if you haven't already. If you have, keep listening to it. I'm finding more and more interesting insights and lyrics to this album. Number 2, I have SADISTIK with Delirium. Underneath the dirt, nothing sunny from a confirm. Tongue suspicious, if you play me like a shotgun. Say you ain't a figure, but you funny when the cops come. Say you chase a paper, but that money's made of cotton. As I mentioned before in the review, I think Delirium is one of his best EPs to date. It's suffocating, it's dark, it's hazy, it's morose, with a very layered, visceral production that I really enjoy all through and through. Other than that, I'm still waiting for the SADISTIK and No Collaboration album that they announced that they were going to release in 2020. At the moment, there's no news on the progress of that album, but I'm still here waiting for any updates of the sort. I can't wait to see what he's going to do next. And again, hopefully that SADISTIK and No project will come out soon too. And my number 1 mid-year hip-hop album is Ka with Descendants of Cain.
Still with my arc in the face of ridicule. Ways left a bad taste when the bitter do. Was filming money no E, they have a bit of fuel.
I'm actually a bit surprised how much I listen to this album, because it's an album that I would stereotypically see myself listening to it as if I really want to sit down, focus on lyrics and concepts and intricacies and whatnot. But I think what draws me in about this album is just Ka as an MC. Regardless of how complicated or regardless of how layered his execution can be, I can always listen to his poetry and his genius with any of his projects, and that is the case for this album. It's mind-blowing, it's just beautiful. I think those terms are the best to describe Ka's projects, of how he ingeniously writes, very vivid, but the way he delivers it is very patient and takes his time, about the grim streets of Brownsville and how they are a product of a grim environment, hence the title Descendants of Cain. And those are my mid-year hip-hop albums. I hope you enjoyed my list. I'm still waiting on a couple more albums that is about to release, and hell, maybe surprise releases this year would amount to another or a competition spot on my year-end list, and I can't wait for that to happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to follow my Instagram account for more content, and I will see you guys soon. Peace. Stay safe, by the way.